Shérame. Va, vamos a ver este video. Está larguito algo, pero está bueno. Siempre tiene muy buenos videos, la verdad, güey. Cosas perturbadoras dentro de internet. Dice número uno, autofobia. Autofobia. Eso, fobia a los autos. Ujú. Oh, creo que
What
ya
do you
sé,
do
güey.
when you find yourself staring into a space? Empty, yet terrifying.
Oh, ya sé qué es, güey. El miedo a estar solo, dice. Autofobia,
It's a
es el miedo a
phenomenon
estar
that's
solo.
gained widespread attention in the past couple years due to the nature of our ever-evolving world. Things are changing, closing, being forgotten,
Se olvida.
and in their wake are derelict spaces that evoke a nostalgic comfort, yet our brains seem to strangely reject them. We feel like we've been there. We associate memories with images that we've never before seen, and for some reason, we become stuck in this trance of eerie fascination. This sensation is caused by liminality, a term deriving from the word liminal, meaning something that's occupying a position at, or on both sides of, a boundary or threshold, something that is within transition.
Que está dentro de una transición.
With widespread interest catalyzed by subreddits, forums, and social media, the internet has served as a vehicle for sharing pictures of liminal spaces with others. This has effectively paved the path for various forms of media and online storytelling to capitalize on it.
Aquí, güey, qué pedo, güey. La neta, a mí lugares así, o sea, estos los espacios liminales o liminal spaces, güey, sí me da como cosita, güey. O sea, tiene, quién sabe por qué, pero sí da como algo, que algo va a pasar, güey, ¿sabes?
To play on the uncanniness that comes with them. Contrary to this relatively recent rise in online popularity, though, liminal spaces are nothing new. In fact, the concept of liminality has always existed among us. We've just never really noticed it.
¿Te acuerdas de los videos que según habían salido en el canal 5? Los videos perturbadores. La verdad es que no, carnal. ¿A qué te refieres? Como a ver. O sea, ¿te refieres así como a un creepypasta o algo así de que salían cosas perturbadoras en el canal 5?
What is it about source maps that unnerve us? Is it the feeling of loneliness? The emptiness that comes with the very purpose of a landscape? Or is it perhaps the fact that we can hear the sounds of other humans carrying out their lives in the distance, yet in our eyes, we're the only ones here?
La verdad se me habían salido unos videos.
A feeling of confused anticipation as we await people that will never come. Contrary to the evidence around us, buildings, furniture within a cozy apartment, beer in the fridge, nobody ever will.
Está jugando al garismo de este compa, güey, what the fuck.
Throughout the late 90s and into the 2000s, video games were playing on the trope of liminal spaces without even knowing it. Garry's Mod and Silent Hill are two that come to mind immediately, and while Gmod was more of an accidental case, Silent Hill was a bit more on the nose. Everything about it is interwoven with the very fabric of what makes liminal spaces so creepy to us.
Ahorita buscamos algo así.
Isolation is always the forefront, with the player being left to explore a town that is years past its time. Hospitals, foggy streets, a theme park, a subway system, and even an apartment that you're unable to leave. Every single game is stuck in a bizarre state of transition.
Güey, por eso siento muchas veces que yo no o sea, o sea, yo no soy de, o no me gustaría en algún momento así como ir a investigar lugares abandonados, güey. Porque siento como que, o sea, estarás solo, güey, pero muchas veces no sabes lo que hay a tu alrededor en un lugar así como abandonado. Ya sea casas o muchas veces hospitales o edificios abandonados, así en general. Nunca sabes como de, o sea, qué puede estar ahí y muchas veces esa sensación de estar solo o en un lugar o así, como que, no sé, está
Nothing is
muy
bustling
cabrona,
and
güey.
alive anymore, but you sure as hell aren't in this place alone.
Ah, este juego, güey, y está bien creepy, güey. Sí, está bien creepy, güey.
No Players Online is a 2019 indie horror game that takes this notion and cranks it up to 10.
Ujú.
Everything about it is liminal.
Este juego, yo sí lo jugué. No cuando salió, sí lo probé. Dura como, ¿qué será? Media horita antes de hacer stream y todo este pedo. Y a la bestia, güey. Es que está muy de
We expect the
probarse, güey,
game
este
to be
juego.
littered with other
Este.
players. We have the overwhelming sentiment that the space we're currently exploring was, at one time, the home to thousands of multiplayer matches.
Ujú.
Yet, we're alone. No players are online
Sí, es lo que
but
está
us.
diciendo, güey.
And I think this is where most of the lingering dread of a liminal space stems from. The anticipation, the expectation that someone else should be around, as is life. Yet there isn't. It's the foundational rejection of loneliness that's hardwired into our brains. And when this loneliness is portrayed through art and even photos of reality, that is where the uncanniness sets in. You know, autophobia is something inexplicably and terrifyingly unique, and you never really know it until you're in it. At school after
Autofobia.
hours, at a hotel pool when no one's around, the very last one in a shopping mall. There are so many cases for
Oh.
situations like this, and the beauty of the internet is that we're able to
Ujú.
share pictures and stories of spaces that terrify us together. Whether it's through gaming or reality, liminal spaces and their play on our natural fear of loneliness are terrifying. And regardless if we ever figure out why they're so eerie, it's irrefutable that they'll always persist in the dark depths of the internet. There's something of a reminder, a memento, a lens into a world that is and will always be nothing but a burning, fading, and ever so distant memory.
Qué referencias, güey. Ay, güey. Oh. No mames. Y dice Origins on Channel 5, güey. Esto es lo del Canal 5. ¡Ey! Canal 5, Channel 5. ¿Qué pedo? No mames, chino, güey. Es de lo que estabas hablando, güey. Cosas extrañas en el Canal 5, güey. No, creo que se trata de otra cosa, güey. Canal 5, videos perturbadores. Perturbadores. ¿Qué es esto, güey? ¿Es esto, güey? ¿A esto te refieres? No, coincidencia. Oh, bueno, ¿cómo se había visto el video, mi estimado? Fíjate, el video de Canal 5, abril 1, 2020. What is this? Creo que sí son. ¿Sí son estos? Ay, güey, no mames. No mames. A ver qué es este, güey.
Time for lunch, munch, munch. Time for a munch, crunch, crunch. Munch, munch, crunch, crunch, munchy, munchy, crunchy, crunchy.
Ah, güey, no mames, ¿qué es eso, güey? ¿Qué es eso? Canal 5. Ay, güey, qué pedo. Qué pedo, güey. Ah, Simón. What the fuck? No mames, Canal 5, no mames. Qué estás publicando? No mames. Que no sirve el grito de Dross. Oh, qué bueno a la verga, qué bueno. No, hombre, güey. Con tu pinche maquia es que me da un infarto a la verga. ¿Qué pedo? Oh mames. Que a la verga ver los videos, güey. Ay, güey. Esa no tiene sonido ya. Tatiana. Oh, Tatiana, sí. ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué pedo? Sí, güey, loco, no mamen, güey. Es mi tío ese. No mamen, güey. Apenas le habían hecho. Le tenían que hacer la cirugía de los dientes, güey. No mamen, güey. ¿Por qué le toman el video? Hijos de su pinche madre, no mamen. Cortos de TV de Tatiana. Oh.
Time for
Es que a la bestia, pinches videos. Pinches videos turbios, güey. Estas madres, güey. ¿Qué pedo? Nah, güey. Esos videos sí se ven bien turbios, güey. Pero eso ¿cuándo fue? Fue el año pasado, güey. Canal 5 Twitter. No, hombre, pero ese ya va a ser hace un montón, güey. Octubre. Y de octubre. Octubre. No, hombre, no, payarlos, güey. Va a, va a estar cabrón, loco. Oh, era, güey. ¿Trae esto?
It's late at night. You cozied up in your room watching creepy YouTube videos.
Dice, ajá.
There are seemingly endless, but there is one channel that I'd like to highlight tonight.
Ajá.
It's called Floresita Dreams, and at
Floresita
first glance of their
Dreams.
channel, we can notice the absurdity with their thumbnails.
¿Qué es eso? Florecita Dreams. ¿Qué es eso?
Their content is just as cryptic and heavily resembles various
¿Qué dice? Una devoción divina. No, banda, hallaron el video de mi tía, no. Hallaron el canal de mi tía, no, ya nomás quería poner videos y memes, güey.
ARGs that we've encountered in videos past.
Trun, tun, tun. Güey, si es el. No, hombre, voy a hacer. Oh, 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 oh. Ok, no es. Oh, oh. ¿Tía?
It's in Spanish,
Yeah.
but that doesn't discount how strange it is.
Oh.
At the end of the day, though, you might be wondering, why are we talking about this tonight?
Güey, sí va a ser. La mía es que sí va a hacerlo el canal 5, güey. A mis hijos ponen esos videos de la mañana, güey.
In the midst of scouring for topics to cover, I was sent an email by a person named Joshua.
Que dice, after Spanish cartoon broadcasted and makes the information that has no whereabouts, the very poor
A
quality
link to
in
this
it.
channel and their explanation of it states the following.
Oh, si es del canal 5.
After Spanish cartoons broadcasted in Mexico,
Güey, literal sí es, güey, chino, ¿cómo? Güey, chino, ¿cómo le atinaste? ¿Cómo le atinaste, chino? No te pases de lanza, güey. No, viste el video, ¿verdad? ¿Viste el
There
video?
used to be a PSA showing missing people with their pictures and info on their last known whereabouts.
No
One girl that showed up
shot.
consistently was named Celine Delgado, and her only picture was of very poor quality, eerie, and her
Elena
features were
Delgado,
very vague.
Florecita Dreams.
The actual video is in Spanish, but from what I understand, they suggest that she doesn't actually exist and was artificially made specifically to appear unsettling so people would better remember the broadcast.
Ese es otro, creo que es de la morra
Interesting.
desaparecida.
The video in question
Ah,
was uploaded on September 2nd of this year and is titled Cinética del Patrón, Celine Delgado.
ok.
Let's have a look.
Ah, es de la Selene. Ah, es de la tipa que si no pasabas un email que se te aparecía, algo así.
Selene Delgado. Selene Delgado es un
Ah,
patrón de
ya.
rostros
esa
artificiales.
es otra.
Los rostros son construidos artificialmente y simulan ser caras humanas, para generar emociones deseando generar estímulos supernormales.
¿Ah? ¿What? Ay, ¿qué pedo? Ay, ¿qué pedo? ¿Qué pedo?
Alright, it seems
Hijo de su puta madre. Qué feo. ¿Qué pedo con esto, güey?
alright, it seems bizarre, but they're
Ah,
on
la
something.
bestia.
At the beginning of the video, Florecita seems to assert the hypothesis
Ah,
that the face of a
el
woman named
gato,
Celine
amor.
Delgado, quote,
El patrón se le
kinetically fits non-human, AI-generated faces using the constant tau.
Constante tau. What?
They go forth to explain the uncanny valley and how facial reconstructions cause uneasiness in those that encounter them.
Ajá.
Following this, they superimpose various faces with the resulting images off to the right, and among these,
Sí.
Celine's face is shown mashed up with various others. They display a few examples that are, admittedly, eerie,
Espeluznante,
and
sí,
ultimately
güey.
argue that the
El
identity
gato.
of this Celine Delgado is, as Joshua stated, artificial.
Ajá.
Now, this is a lot to unpack, but considering that
Okay.
it's something that we haven't looked into prior, I found it worth considering. So, who is Celine Delgado,
¿Quién es
and how
Selena
did she
Delgado?
become wrapped
Sí.
up in this eerie shroud of urban legend?
O sea, están como... O sea, sí entiendo eso de que están como reconstruyendo la cara o algo así. Creando combinaciones, güey. Pero, o sea, no entiendo
Throughout
cómo
the
es que eso
1990s,
se relaciona
there was a
a
TV
Canal
segment
5 y
run on
así.
Channel 5 in Mexico named Servicio de la Comunidad,
Oh,
Channel
hablar del
5
servicio de la
Community
comunidad.
Service.
No.
As Joshua stated, it was a TV
Ah,
spot that
y que, curiosidad, la persona que hacía la voz de los servicios a la comunidad, creo que era un productor muy importante del Canal 5 y lamentablemente creo que, no me acuerdo qué año murió, pero verga, güey, que... La neta, ya siendo Canal 5 una de las, creo que sería, ¿qué será? De las cadenas televisivas más grandes de México, güey, ya tienen como que tener muchos misterios así, cosas turbias en general, güey, y eso está como muy loco,
ran
güey.
between children's cartoons in hopes of spreading the word about various missing persons.
Sí, güey, ándale,
The
y esto
segments-
esto sí es muy turbio, de como de que pasen cosas, o sea, pasen fotos de gente desaparecida, güey, en televisión y así, es, o sea, si te lo piensas bien, es algo o sea, muy turbio en general, güey, ¿sabes? O sea, sí entiendo, o sea, sí está bien, güey, que se haga, güey, porque así ayudas a que se identifiquen y que se resuelvan más casos de gente desaparecida, güey, pero en sí es muy turbio, güey, se me hace, güey. El exorcismo de Emily Rose, la foto que fue grabada, esa me da culo a mí, güey. No, sí da
Contrary
mucho
to what we're
culo,
going to
güey.
discuss later tonight, actually contain voiceovers giving various details and last locations of missing persons.
Ahora sí ya viene
And
Chief,
at
¿qué
first
tal,
glance,
el panita?
these are mostly tame. When you
Vamos.
really look into it though, the eerie nature of these TV spots stems from when you consider how Channel
Vamos,
5
vamos.
handled the case of just one person, Celine Delgado.
Güey, aquí estamos viendo cositas de este canal. La neta está muy chingón. Es inglés y son cosas como de miedo así. No sé si lo conozcas, güey. Se llama Nexpo, güey. La neta está muy perro, güey. Está muy perro, es como para cosas turbias. Ahorita estamos viendo un video de cosas perturbadoras de internet, dice este güey. Que le pasan así muchas veces a muchos de sus viewers y así. Estamos viendo el caso de la Selene Delgado, así cosas turbias así alrededor, güey,
Over
del
the
canal
years,
5.
her face would reportedly pop up in nearly every Servicio de la Comunidad segment, utilizing this exact same low-quality photo. There were times where they give a bit of background info about her, like the fact that she went missing on April 22nd and was just 18 years old.
Selene Delgado López, de 18 años, se extravió el 22 de abril en la delegación Álvaro Obregón.
But what cemented her case into the minds of thousands of people came nearly 30 years later.
Ve, güey, ¿qué es eso, güey? O sea, ve eso, güey. El pinche caso ese de la Selena Delgado.
Time for lunch, lunch, lunch.
Oh,
Time for
sí,
lunch,
los videos,
lunch,
güey.
lunch.
No mames. Güey, son los videos que acabo de ver. No. ¿Qué pedo, canal 5? No mames, ya, güey.
It goes without saying that the videos you're currently viewing are very obviously works of fiction.
Eso sí, eso sí.
They were
Pero es
part
que
of a
sí están muy
stunt pulled by
creepy, güey.
Channel 5 on their official Twitter page throughout 2019 and 2020.
Verga, güey.
During this time, they were known to upload obscure, eerie videos to their account, only to delete them just hours later. It was an antic that ultimately catalyzed their rise to the Twitter trending page on numerous occasions, and also drives home the point that this real-world TV channel is not above messing with you.
Ajá.
In the midst of these posts, though, came one that involved a familiar name.
Que de la Selene
This one,
Delgado, ¿qué?
posted after midnight on the 20th of February 2020. We can clearly make out the name, Selene,
¿De dónde?
given that she was
ok.
what many
Selene,
presumed
ok.
to be an actual missing person that was constantly
Parece
broadcasted
los
on a
dientes
kids
cochinos.
channel over the span of years. It gave birth to a new sort of urban legend that the Floresita Dreams channel was entertaining. The hypothesis that this person is potentially not real. The major argument stems from her missing photo. Many have stated online
okay.
that it appears common, basic, and fake.
Espérame, banda. ¿Qué hice? No, profe, si estoy en la clase, póngame lista. Muy tarde, ya retardó mi SC007M. Simón. Muy tarde, carnal, ya no puedes pasar. El que me recomendó Dinosaur Vlogs también se trata de casos de crímenes. Es Argentina, che. Está bien, ahorita los checamos. Ahorita los checamos. Verga, güey. O sea, está diciendo este güey que básicamente Selene Delgado no existió. Que era una persona fake por la foto, güey. Que la foto está muy culera, ¿sí? Eso sí, la foto está muy culera, güey. Y que por eso como que es generada, estás diciendo, güey.
This, combined with the lack of any online record that
Que
has
no hay
ever been
registro
found
también,
about her,
güey.
has led to a breeding ground of online hearsay, creepypastas, and hoax videos to command the conversation about her.
Verga, güey. Pero...
Now, when I stumbled upon this video in my research, I, among many others, had initially assumed that this footage was real. Keeping in mind the other hoaxes and pranks that Channel 5 has played on its viewers, combined with the unconventional nature of these broadcasts being played on a kids channel, I didn't doubt that they'd pull a prank like this to make her name stick with you. Ultimately, though, as is the case with many works of media online,
Es falso.
this too was a hoax.
Chinga madre, güey.
But
Chingada
that doesn't
madre.
discount the weirdness of this story. The way that Channel 5 has and is handling her name makes it seem like she's nothing but a tall tale. And unfortunately, given the nature of the internet, many have run with this notion. Regarding the real case of Selene Delgado, unfortunately nothing has ever come of it. She has, as far as anyone knows, never been found, and her case has sat that way for decades. Personally, I think Selene Delgado, contrary to the rumors online, is indeed a real person.
Oh.
The argument presented about her having a fake face just doesn't seem plausible. Her image is low quality because it was the 90s.
Que
Her
en los
record
90
likely
se
did
tuvo.
exist, but was never digitized. The uncanniness of this image would be exponentially higher if this actually were fake, and it just doesn't make sense for a channel to slip a random fake person in their broadcast that would most likely never have been noticed back then.
Oh.
To me, Celine Delgado was a real person with a story that likely never received any sort of closure, and a person that is now forever wrapped up in the realm of urban legend.
Verga, güey. Que es cierto, güey. Es que el caso ya lleva
But
años,
of
güey.
course,
Años y años.
that's just my conjecture.
Sí, super tormenta. Superstorm. Este es otro caso, güey.
From the span of April 8th to April 9th, 2015, a devastating superstorm would wreak havoc on much of the central United States. 27 tornadoes ranging from EF0 to EF4 would touch down within the span of just 36 hours, resulting in immense devastation throughout Kansas, Missouri, Texas,
Verga, güey.
Oklahoma, and Illinois. While most of them were rated as an EF1 or lower, by far the most destructive would impact a small rural town named Fairdale. Reaching wind speeds of up to 200 miles per hour, this 41-minute storm surge would ultimately become infamous as one of the worst natural disasters to impact the region in nearly 25 years.
Verga, güey. Es que los tornados, güey, están muy... Pues que la neta yo con un tornado no... No, güey, no, nunca quiero estar ni cerca de... No, güey. Wow, güey, no. O sea, a veces no entiendo cómo es que si hay gente, güey, que va y los persigue así, güey. O sea, sé que es muy impresionante, pero es que a la bestia, güey, lo que pueden hacer, güey, así, güey. Oh, creo que se está viendo la... El único tornado chilo es el de Trucha.
On the evening of April 9th, an 85-year-old
Ese
man named
sí
Clarence
está bien
Schultz
vergas,
had just
güey,
wrapped up dinner with his wife Geraldine. He was in the other room getting cleaned up when she suddenly called him back into the kitchen. "Look out the window," she claims. And when he does, Clarence would come face to face with a scene straight out of a nightmare.
Oh, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó?
Immediately, he heads upstairs to grab supplies while she stays behind. And while up there, he pulls out his cell phone to take a quick video. What he was unaware of, though, was that while taking this footage, the tornado wasn't heading away, but rather straight towards them.
Oh, no way. Clarence Clemshaw. Ay, va a grabar el tornado, güey. ¿Qué es eso, güey? Va a grabar todo el tornado, cómo se le acerca, güey. Fuck, güey. Es que ves esas madres, güey. No, güey. No, y se lleva todo a la bestia. No. No mames. Y se marchó.
Clarence Schultz didn't make it back to his wife.
No, pero... ¿Qué están diciendo, güey? Pues a lo que la casa donde hacen exorcismos realmente nunca se destruyen o se ven afectadas, güey. Neta. No mames, güey. Eso es verídico. O sea, literal, si haces exorcismo acá, no pasa nada acá en tu casita. Te pasa la CDMX, que es una pinche metrópoli donde hay un chingo de comercio, empresa y la mar. Pero ahí no hay nada, puro rancho y la raza vive ahí de huevo, ándale, güey. O sea, ¿cómo le vas a hacer acá, güey? Aquí dice, güey, dice que en torno a que de la CDMX, señora, todas las CDMX, no, hombre, güey. No aguanta la CDMX. Eh, para recuperar el metraje ha estado bueno, güey. Y, güey. O sea, ¿cómo? O sea, grabó el güey. Imagino que se hallaron el celular tirado o algo así. De ahí sacaron el video o algo así. Que pegaba esa ya noble. No, güey. Qué hijo de puta. No, bro, iba full AP, oh.
But
Full,
thankfully,
full
he
está
did
con
make
el
it out of
meja y
this
no,
alive.
hombre, güey.
Geraldine, however, wasn't quite so lucky. In the moments following the
No,
video,
Geraldine.
the storm destroyed the Schultz home, and Clarence resultingly found himself caught in a pile of rubble.
A bien, qué
All of a
loco.
sudden, it
Qué
kind
mo-
of got quiet. He recalls.
No le
I
encargo,
asked
güey.
myself, are you dead?
¿Estás muerto?
No, you can't hurt when you're dead. And I hurt.
Oh.
Geraldine Schultz was one of 2 deaths and 11 injuries that were caused by the events from April 9th.
Solo 2 personas y se murió
Their neighbor and longtime friend named Jacqueline Closa.
su esposa y la
Closa reportedly
vecina,
had a
güey.
massive fear of spiders, which her daughter claims is why she didn't seek refuge in her own
Unos
basement.
corros. Bestia, güey.
In total, over $19 million in damages were reported, and the aftermath
No.
footage embodies the devastation that was left behind.
¿Qué ve eso, güey? Es que con un
Thankfully,
tornado de
a storm of this
todo.
magnitude hasn't struck the area since then. And after a grueling, years-long recovery effort, life in Fairdale is mostly back to normal today.
Realidad, oye.
For the residents
Sí,
of
güey.
this small town, though,
Es que
the
cómo te
scars from that
recuperas de
night
eso,
will
güey.
remain everlasting.
Sí, güey, o sea, no.
While the incident in Fairdale is just one of hundreds of natural disasters that have
O sea, es que bestia, güey. Es que muy fácil, siendo que muy fácil, güey, cualquiera puede reconstruir una casa o, o un edificio así, ¿sabes? Que se haya tumbado, güey, o lo que sea, güey, pero es que ahí pierdes más que una cosa, o sea, no pierdes solo eso, güey, pierdes gente, güey, yo qué sé, si pierdes tu casa, pues pierdes los recuerdos en cierta forma que estaban de ahí, ¿sabes, güey? Verga, güey, siento que por eso sí está muy duro, güey, el vivir en zonas así, güey, con, con tornados y así, güey, porque está muy cabrón, güey, pues por eso,
happened over the years. The resident
Porque si es
stories
otra
and the media
mujercita,
that
güey.
accompany
Oh,
them paint a picture that is humbling.
chale, güey.
It takes you there, in a way, conveying the tragedy that nobody could have predicted. Today, Fairdale stands strong.
Pero,
They are a community that banded together.
oh,
And while a similar
Fairdale.
storm hasn't happened since then, they remain vigilant in case something like this ever happens again.
Gee, oh, damn. God damn. Hey, you got struck by lightning, man. Oh, Fairdale. Hombre, güey. Está cabrón, güey.
911, what are you reporting?
Yeah, my house is getting robbed right now.
What? Espérate, ¿qué dijo? ¿Qué dijo?
911, what are you
No
reporting?
sé.
Yeah, my house is getting robbed right
Sí, me están robando la casa ahora mismo. Oh. Here we go again. Fuck.
On December 1st, 2019, in Michigan, a man named Christopher Neal, his
Pero hable de
wife
rojo
Haley
pero
Coe,
morado
and their
acá.
2-year-old daughter
Simón,
Charlotte were
Simón, es
watching
cierto.
TV at home. The family had just moved here
Sí, acá.
from North Texas, so they were still getting settled in. All things
Así.
considered, the night was going okay, and nothing was out of the ordinary.
Ujú.
At around 10 p.m., the three hear a loud noise at the front of the house.
So,
It sounds like an intruder, and so Chris heads to investigate while Haley stays behind
que
to
me va a
call
dar miedo,
911.
culo, no mames, güey.
It was at this point
Abrácenme,
when
no
Chris
sean
would encounter
culos,
an unknown man standing
No,
near his
como
front
carnal,
door,
pero alguien abrázame, güey.
and
ya va.
immediately, he too calls the authorities. The following audio
Uh-huh.
takes place the moment the call center answered.
Ujú. Ok.
911, what is location of your emergency?
Yes, there's a man in my house right now.
What is, hold on, stop for a second.
What? There's a man in my house.
I need you to give me your address first.
6300 Proctor Avenue.
Pero es gritar.
Tower apartment.
House at the end of the street. Why are you in my house, bro?
Estás mal.
She's on speakerphone. Why are you in my house, though?
¿Qué pedo?
Sir, how many other people are in your house?
It's me, my wife, and our daughter.
How old is your daughter?
She's 2.
2? Okay. Do you have any idea who he is?
We do no. Let my wife talk.
I'm not gonna harm you guys. All right, I promise. Take my hand. I'm recording drones. You can go. I'm not gonna harm you.
Where is William at right now?
He's standing next to me in my hallway.
Okay, are we still on speakerphone?
We still are. He's right here.
Okay.
Güey, nomás llega el vato y le dice, oh, no va a pasar nada, carnal. ¿Qué tal? Oye, buenas tardes, mi nombre es William. ¿Qué tal? Pues aquí acabo de llegar a tu casa. ¿Qué onda? No, pues aquí andamos, carnal. Simón. Todo chido. Todo chido. No, tranquilo. Nomás metí a tu casa, carnal. No pasa nada, me dicen el Willis. Yo nomás vengo aquí, ¿sabes? Nomás vengo a pasar aquí. Buenas tardes. Así, oiga, qué pedo.
William.
Yes, ma'am.
William, okay.
Ajá.
Can Christopher and his wife and daughter step outside?
¿Qué es?
No.
Oh.
I'm not.
Eh,
What?
They're safe.
They're safe?
Están a
They're
salvo,
safe. They're right here with me.
What are you doing in our house?
Van a estar...
I told you there are shots fired.
Where were shots fired at?
Que hubo disparos, dice, güey.
Going on, Old 37, or Old Kentucky, Annabelle.
What's that?
Stop right here with me, man.
No, I ain't going
You're
anywhere.
going there with me, man.
Bro,
Turn the light on, please.
William.
Turn the light on.
William.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you trying to have them
¿Qué
do?
dice?
He's coming in the room with me, that's it.
Why is he going in the room with you?
why are you locking that door? Don't lock that door, bro.
You all right, man. I just gave you my word, man. You straight.
I get what you're saying, but you got 2 guns, bro.
You
You got 2 guns?
Stop trying to play crazy, man.
I'm not doing anything. I'm
William.
not in my house, man.
Yes.
I'm sorry, man.
William, listen to me.
Ajá.
Why are you here in the first place?
William, can you listen to me?
Yes, ma'am.
A ver, creo
I
que...
need you to put those guns down.
Creo que ni se alcanza como a ver el
Because I've got
texto ahí en inglés.
officers that want to help you. I have
Uh-huh.
officers that want to help you and keep you safe. So I need you to put those guns down.
Ajá.
Who are you, man?
Se va a poner cachondo.
911.
No,
I've
pues
got
le
help
dijo
for
no,
you.
mo.
I need
Le
you
dijo
to
no,
put
mo.
those guns down so that they can get you the help that you need.
I want police here so I can leave.
The police
Gringo,
are
gringo.
there. William,
Oh
the
yeah,
police
William.
are there.
William, don't do it, man. William,
there.
don't do it, man.
They're there. I've got a lot of deputies there.
Look, man, listen. I'm not harming you, I promise. My
No te va a
word.
hacer daño. Te la
My
agarra.
wife just got threatened, man.
I can hear you, bro.
You understand?
I hear you.
They got threatened last night.
Okay, I get you, bro.
Okay.
I'm not harming you,
Oh.
or your children, or your wife.
Okay, como que buscó refugio en la casa de un extraño, el William.
Hey, this is Joe from the Sheriff's Department. How are you, man?
Slide your bag underneath the door. Don't come through that door.
Okay. We're not going to come through the door, man, but I just want to talk to you and find out what's going on.
Don't come through that door. Slide your bag underneath that door, man.
Well,
Okay.
I'm not even up by the door, man. I'm outside the house. Way outside the house.
Pero hace algo nuevo, va a salir, ¿no? Dale, chino, dale.
What's got you all worked up today, man?
Oh. Cuelga, güey. ¿Qué pedo?
Hello? Hello? Is this Christopher?
No, Christopher's dead.
¿Qué? ¿Qué?
Contrary to the man's claim, Chris wasn't dead the moment he said it. Minutes later, though, he would be. After hearing the gunfire,
Mentiroso.
police forced their way into the home.
Qué
During
mentiroso,
their
le dio su
advancement,
palabra, güey.
3 officers were shot and would sustain non-life-threatening wounds.
Ok. Qué mentiroso, William, hijo de puta. William, hijo de puta, que... Oh, qué mentiroso que sos.
Hey, what's your name, man? Hey, this is Joe out here, okay? Man, we don't want anything bad to happen. We're not gonna hurt you.
Listen to me, please. Go home. Slide your bag before you leave the door.
Say that again, man.
Once they charged towards the bedroom that Jones was hiding out in, they'd encounter Neil lying on the floor with the bedroom window ajar. Outside of it was Jones trying to flee. However, his efforts were in vain.
Le disparan ahí. Oh. Oh.
William Jones ultimately faced 19 felony charges and was accused of killing Christopher Neal and wounding 3 officers. He was reportedly well known in surrounding counties as a thief and home invader. And astonishingly, just 5 days prior to the murder, he was released from jail after serving time for a previous offense.
Fuck.
During his arraignment, his defense attorney maintained his innocence, claiming that Jones was running from an attacker that night and ultimately sought refuge in the Neal home. I think the 911 audio speaks for itself. However, it'll ultimately be up to a jury in his eventual trial. Since the incident, Haley Coe has given birth to the couple's second child and is now raising them alone. With this, their oldest daughter will be forever scarred by the loss of her dad that night, and their youngest will never know him. Christopher Neal died protecting his family from a lifelong criminal, and no matter if Jones is sentenced to life in prison with justice served, the Neal family will forever have to live on without a husband and without a father.
Fuck, dude. Yo esperaba que fuera algo más, ¿sabes? Más esperanzador, güey, qué pedo. Fucking Williams, man. Fucking Williams, man. Te di agua de mi vaso del Paw Patrol si me pega. Si me pagas, no. Una vez me dijeron que nunca pusieras nada a la pared porque podrías salir negra y darte... Ah, qué buen team, fíjate. Que de repente acá... ¡Tú! Saca... Rompe la pared acá y dale acá por detrás. Hombre. Muy cierto, muy sabio ese soldado. No, si le sabía. Enero de 1989.
Central and North America are recovering from a recent Category 5 hurricane. United States President-elect George H.W. Bush is preparing to swear in as the 41st president with just under a week to go.
Simón.
And on Channel 5 up in Chicago, Illinois,
El Canal 5.
an NBC-affiliated news station by the name of WMAQ is wrapping up its nightly programming.
Okay.
In relation to the other two, a news station broadcast keeping up the status quo doesn't seem all that notable or interesting. And to be honest with you, it isn't. Rather, it's what transpired afterwards that's piqued my interest. It's extremely subtle, but after being discovered relatively recently, the footage you're about to watch has opened the door to a mystery that's perplexed a small but growing corner of the internet.
Un misterio, ajá.
Have a look.
This is WMAQ TV, Channel 5, NBC Television in Chicago. We now leave the air and wish you a pleasant good morning.
Okay. Ay, güey. Irmes. Dice, desaparecido Joana López. Acá. Ajá. Joana López 312-7.
It's a rarity that something as simple as a missing notice can fill me with such uneasiness. And I think it's because this TV spot is so obscure. This image is incredibly low quality, and there's effectively nothing to complement it. No height, weight, or age. no information about where they were last seen, no family contacts, no investigative progress reports,
No
no
tiene nada de
voiceover to fill you
información,
in.
güey.
Absolutely nothing. This just exists as a late-night post-broadcast info screen shown at a time when most viewers likely directed their attention elsewhere. All we're left with is the name Joanna Lopez, a poorly lit photo of her face, and a now defunct phone number that's been found to lead to the youth division of the Chicago Police Department. Something about the way this was presented just seems off, and considering the current online discourse about it, I'm not alone in feeling this way.
O sea, que está como muy raro como lo presentan, dice ese güey. Que no tiene nada de info, güey. A una hora que básicamente ni su puta madre lo va a ver.
NBC5, Chicago.
That is very difficult.
Ok, el mismo video.
2 years later, in 1991,
2 años después.
WMAQ would once again wrap up their nightly broadcast. In a strikingly similar and almost random fashion, Joanna's missing notice would be played once more.
What? ¿Qué pedo? WMAQ Chicago. What?
Considering the blink and you'll miss it nature of the notice this time, it too fell on deaf ears. There was, again, no supporting info about her, no updates that might have cropped up in the prior 2 years, still no age, height, weight, nothing. Just this obscure photo with the word missing plastered on top of it. Given how long it was since the last update, combined with the implied lack of any progress in the search, it was beginning to seem that the chances of finding Joanna were dwindling as the days went by. And to date, not a single other update had ever come of this. Joanna Lopez has presumably never been found.
Joanna López presuntamente nunca ha sido encontrada. Al parecer. ¿Qué dice? A través de los 2000 o 2010, ¿qué decía? A través de los 2000 y los 2010, la discusión acerca de Joanna López se ha esparcido alrededor de internet. Ajá. Dice donde estaba la cámara, pues. ¿Cuál era el veredicto en la desaparecida Joanna López? Parece que su caso ha iniciado interés en varios lugares a través de la red, pero parece ser que nunca ha sido suficiente para la
and into 2021, Joanna's mysterious missing notice would finally be shared to Reddit. Two posts are known to have spearheaded the conversation, one by a Luke Inspire and another by a Chris Polygon. While Luke Inspires came first, I wanted to focus on Chris's as this one prompted the most discussion. Simply titled, The Very Obscure Disappearance of Joanna Lopez. Their post in Unresolved Mysteries outlines most of what we've already touched on so far.
Okay.
They go forth to claim that they have looked through various missing persons resources, however have found absolutely no information about her. Considering this is a subreddit devoted to discussing the unsolved, others quickly chimed in with theories on what they think might have happened. I think she was a runaway and was found pretty quick. Maybe she ran away again in 1991 and they used the same picture. 1989 and 1991 are not that far apart, and if she was in foster care, I doubt they had up-to-date pictures of her. Such a strange case.
Que resolver un caso de hace 30 años, güey.
I found the number listed here as the Youth Division of the Chicago Police Department. So, on the face of it, the number is in fact legit. I don't have the guts to call it, but it's there. Sounds like she escaped some kind of juvenile detention or probation. If it weren't for the reappearance of the photo 2 years later, I'd be inclined to believe that's exactly what happened. But then she was found and returned with her case never having a chance to escalate to federal involvement. The fact that it aired again in 1991, however, makes me think she was never found. And in the pre-internet days, her case simply slipped through the cracks. I hope I'm wrong.
Okay.
Throughout all of these, though, one comment stood out among the others. Posted by a proud evening star. They claim the following. Came across this post late last night, and it creeped me out so much that I couldn't sleep for a while. It really is so sad to think that a person can slip through the cracks like that and seemingly vanish altogether. I've been scouring the Doe network for unidentified Jane Does in and around the Chicago area all morning, and the only possible case I could find is from 1994. Here. I really hope we can find closure on this. My heart breaks for her. Interesting. Heading to that link presents us with a Jane Doe, 276 UFIL. She was found deceased in an alleyway, naked from the waist down.
Whoa.
It goes without saying that our working evidence is tenuous. However, lining up this photo with that of Joanna Lopez, while considering the time and location in which she was found, postulating that this woman is Joanna, isn't out of the realm of possibility. I've done some digging on various missing persons from around the time period, and have also come up short with results. There are quite a few from around Illinois. However, their dates of discovery don't quite line up with the two missing broadcasts. It seems to me that Proud Evening Star has found the most plausible visual match out of nearly all the 1990s Jane Does from the area.
Jane Does.
But even this leaves us with much to be desired.
Es que si nomás hallar una foto así al azar, gente desaparecida.
At the end of the day, the case of Joanna Lopez is one
Y
that
decir
is
que es eso
undoubtedly
está
haunting.
muy cabrón.
Barring how obscure the photo itself is, the lack of information, the visuals that accompanied the broadcast, and the fact that there is virtually no discussion or record about her ever existing aside from this brief video archive online, this case is enveloped in absolute mystery. I implore you to join the discussion in finding this girl, and if you know or remember anything about her, myself and countless others are all ears about it. In the worst case scenario, we won't get anywhere, and this mystery will remain. But the best case, reaching any sort of closure, that is what I'm aiming for.
Damn.
The internet harbors a vast abyss of content that is perplexing, intriguing, and immensely haunting.
True.
A community thriving off sharing derelict areas around the world. An internet urban legend that engulfed the name of someone who has never been found. An unforeseen natural disaster that wreaked havoc on a community. A 911 call in the midst of a home invasion. And a missing persons broadcast that never found a resolution. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special Halloween edition of Disturbing Things from around the internet. I hope you all enjoyed this, and if you have any eerie discoveries that you'd like to share for a future installment, feel free to fill out my new tip line or shoot me an email at dtfaisubmissions@gmail.com.
Y queda clean así rojito
Once
el
again,
fondo.
thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I love you all. And happy Halloween.
Feliz Halloween. Feliz Halloween. Oh. Navidazo, loco.